Hey, what's going on, everybody? Back with another how-to. Today we're going to be doing spark plugs on this second gen Dodge Dakota. This is a 2000, although it should fall in line with any 1997 to 2004. This is a 3.9 V6, so let's jump into it now. All right, so here's all our parts. We got Denso spark plug wires and we got the Mopar OE spark plugs. So let's go ahead and get these things in, guys. All right, first thing we're gonna do, just to be on the precautionist side, is take off this negative battery terminal. This is an 11 mil, and I'm just turning it off with 11 mil wrench, and we're gonna go ahead and get this off. Next thing we wanna do is we wanna get this air intake assembly off. It'll help us get some room down here and also get to our wires on the cap back here. So let's go ahead and get this whole intake assembly off. So let's go ahead and get this unscrewed. Should thread right off. We're gonna put that up there for safekeeping, and then this hose clamp is a 8 mil. So I'm just gonna go ahead and turn this off with an 8 mil. Now we should be able to lift up this assembly. Yep, got it lifted up. So we're just gonna disconnect this hose, disconnect from right here, and we'll be able to take the whole assembly right out. All right, so we're gonna start with our passenger right side. So if you can see, there is one wire with the plug right there, and then you got two almost right next to each other right there. We're gonna start with this side, and we're gonna go ahead and we'll start with the back ones to get the hard ones out first. So we are starting with the middle right hand passenger plug, okay? I did take off the air intake box top just to give it some more elbow room, and as you can see, I'm doing the air filter anyway, so it's good to get this out of the way. Just gives you a little bit more room. But so you can see our two wires right here. Let's go ahead and try to pull one of these out. I'm just doing it by hand. Looks like it came right off, and it came off in one piece, which is beautiful. A lot of times these do not come off intact. So we got this off. Now we just got to go ahead and get our socket down here to get the plug out. We got our 5/8 socket right on the plug. Did it with an extension and a 3/8 ratchet. So let's go ahead and get this thing free. Should be loose by finger. We should be able to pull her on out. Yep, there we go, guys. First one's out. And I was able to get this out with a 3/8 socket wrench, an extension, and our 5/8 spark plug socket. So first one's out, guys. All right, guys, you can see we got our new plug here. This is our Mopar plug, okay? So we're gonna go ahead, put a little bit of anti-seize, just press it on right across the threads. All right, don't need a lot, but you do wanna do that anytime you replace plugs, just to make it easier on yourself next time you gotta replace them. So we're gonna go ahead, get a little bit of anti-seize pressed onto these threads, and then go ahead and figure tight this into the cylinder. All right, hopefully you can see that, but I'm just gonna go ahead, drop our plug right into the cylinder, okay? Now I'm just gonna take our socket and extension, follow that spark plug on in there, make sure you get on top of it, and then we're going to start finger tight threading that right into its location here. Now once we get this finger tight, I'm just going to go ahead and put the socket wrench right back on it and just give it one nice little turn after finger tight. Typically I like to torque any bolt or spark plugs into their location, but just how tight this is, I'm not going to have any room to get my torque wrench in there. So we have this one finger tight. I'm going to take my socket wrench, throw it right back on. And I'm just going to give it one little turn. And that's it. It really doesn't even need much at all. I barely turned it and it went right in place and locked in. So one down. Let's go ahead and get to the wire, guys. All right, so now that we got the plug out, we're going to do the wire. See, the wire tie separator right here is right on the valve cover stud, so you can just pull it up. You can push this clip right here. You can see it right there to the side, and now we have access to these wires. So let's go ahead and get our loose wire out. Here it is. Remember, this is the middle passenger side. Okay, I'm going to disconnect it from the wire separator here, and she is free. Now all we got to do is work this around the other wires, And then we're gonna take it off of the cap here and then just put on our new wire onto the cap. All right, you can see we have our identical matching wire. So all we have to do is route the wire from the cap to the plug, just how it was, and then we're good on the first plug. All right guys, might be hard to see, but we got this one in. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the one right next to it. So I'm gonna pull the wire off of that one. Got it off. All right, see the wire is free. So we're gonna let that hang, and now we're gonna go ahead and get this spark plug out. Now keep in mind we are on the passenger side. This is the rear plug. All right, I got my socket in here. Let's go ahead and break that loose. Broke loose very easy. Same thing as last time. It's going to be a 3/8 socket wrench, an extension with our 5/8 spark plug socket. So I'm going to go ahead and take this extension and the socket off, and we're just going to finger that plug right out of the cylinder. All right, got that one out too, guys. This is the rear passenger, so add this one to the collection. We're going to go ahead and throw in our new plug. Just make sure you anti-seize it, and then we're going to drop that in and get it tight, and then we'll do the wire. New plug is going in, guys. Just dropping it in with the extension. All right, so it's in. Down dropped in the cylinder. We're gonna go ahead and finger tight this in and give it one nice little turn to tighten it down. All right, rear plug is in and out with a 3/8 socket wrench, extension, and the spark plug socket. So same thing as the other one. Now we got our wire loose. We're gonna go ahead and follow our wire. Just get it unplugged and run the new wire. All right guys, got new wire pressed on. We're gonna go ahead and route that right around the valve cover to that back plug. All right, hopefully you can see those two new wires. We got our two new wires routed to our two new plugs. So we're gonna move on to the front passenger, which will be the last one for the passenger side. So let's go ahead and this wire off. Came right off. We're gonna let that hang. Should be able to get to this with the same setup we've been using with the extension 3/8 in the socket. Sure looks like it. This one's a little tight, but she's breaking loose. Just be careful, guys. This one is kind of tight and fighting me. You don't want to get too crazy. Just want to slowly back it off and make sure that you don't strip anything. These have been replaced in the past, and God knows who did it. So let's go ahead and get this plug out. All right guys, the final plug on this side is out. This is the front passenger. So we got all three of them out right there. So let's go ahead and get the new one dropped down in that cylinder, and then we'll route the new wire. All right, so we got anti-seize on our plug. We're gonna go ahead and drop this down into the cylinder. All right, she's dropped down. We got the extension and the socket on it. I'm gonna go ahead and finger tight this in and give it a nice little snug tight, and we'll be good on this plug. Guys, got that old wire out. Let's go ahead and match it up with the new one, and then we'll route the new wire. All right guys, we got all three plugs and wires replaced here on this passenger side. Now there is one more wire we have to replace. We're gonna go ahead and remove that now. It is this one right here that also runs to the cap. So let's go ahead and pull that off. Pull this out. Trace it on back. And then we're gonna pull that right off of the cap, and we should be good, guys. Got that one right on off of there. Here is our new wire. We're gonna go ahead and run that. Just make sure you get the wire separator that goes onto the valve cover stud right here off of the old wire. We're gonna put this on the new wire and just route it cleanly. And there it is, guys. Passenger side officially done. Everything's ran cleanly. We just gotta put our wire tie separator right back on that back stud of the valve cover, and the passenger side is completely done. All right guys, might be hard to see. We got that wire separator on there. Everything over here is ran nice and clean. So let's go ahead and move on to the driver's side now. All right guys, so we are on to the driver's side. What we are going to do is start with this very rear driver's side one. All right, Got that wire off of there. This one looks like it might be fun to get to, guys. So let's go ahead and see if we can get that out. All right, guys, so we got this rear one on the driver's side broken loose. What I was able to do was drop the extension in the socket into the cylinder, and then after the fact, put the socket wrench on top of it. So now it's loose. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this out a little bit, take the socket wrench off, and then finish it off with finger in and out with the extension. Got it. All right, guys, so we were able to get that plug out with the extension and the spark plug socket. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop in this new plug here. Hopefully you can see, not the best angle. Get this wire out of the way. I'm gonna go ahead and drop in the spark plug socket and extension here. Go, it's a little tight, but if you finagle it enough, you can get around all this here. So I got the extension in there. I'm just gonna start finger tightening that plug in there, and then we'll snug it in with the socket. All right, guys, we got that rear driver's side plug in and out with the 3/8 socket, extension and a spark plug socket. So it is in now. All we gotta do is get this wire out of here, and we're gonna go ahead and route the new wire in. So, get this thing out of here. Underneath everything here, but you guys, you can see, got that one off. Let's go ahead and get the new wire in. All right, guys, got that new wire in. Might be hard to see down there, but she's in there. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the last two right here next to each other on the driver's side. Hopefully should be the easiest ones, so let's go ahead and get these pulled out. Alright, guys, I got right to this with the extension, 3/8 and the socket, just like everything else. So let's go ahead and break this thing loose. All right, guys, we got our middle driver side out. That is our 5th plug. So let's go ahead and get that new one in. All right, we got our middle driver side all anti-seized up. Just drop it in. And I'm gonna go ahead and start finger tightening this in with the socket. All right, guys, we got that plug in and out. So let's go ahead and get to this wire now. Going under the same way as the last one was. All right, got it right out, guys. Let's go ahead and put the new one in. And keep in mind, this does have a wire tie separator on it, just like the other one did. So make sure you get this off and put it on the new one. All right, guys, got that plug and wire in. So now we can move on to our final one, which is the driver front. So let's go ahead and get this one out. All right, guys, so let's get this wire off. Just pull it right on out. Got it out. Wire is free. Pull this thing up here, get it loose. Now let's go ahead and focus on getting that last plug out. All right, guys, broke that front driver loose. Let's go ahead and get this thing out. Last and final one is out, guys. All 6 of our old plugs. So I got that one out with the 3/8 socket wrench extension and the 5/8 spark plug socket. So that means every one of these plugs I got out with this 3/8 extension and a socket. That's it. Everyone was able to do it with this in and out. So let's go ahead and get that last plug in and run our last wire. All right, guys, so we're just tightening in this last plug, and then we can jump on to doing the last wire. All right, we got that last plug into our front driver. Let's go ahead and get this last wire out. Go ahead and trace it back and get it off of the cap. There it is. Last wire is out, guys. Let's go ahead and get our last new one in. All right, we got that pressed on. We'll go ahead and route this And make sure you have your rear valve cover separator right here, and you can utilize the separator on this one as well. So let's go ahead and get these wires ran cleanly with the separators, and we should be done, guys. All right, guys, we got all the plugs and wires replaced. Hopefully you can see everything there. Everything is done, guys, so all we have to do now is put on our air intake in the box back on and reconnect the negative battery terminal, and we are done, guys. So stay tuned for some more build videos and some more how-tos, and I'll catch you in the next one.